is the first part of Dahlia breeding for beginners, and part 1 is choosing your form. A lot of breeders specialize in either one form of Dahlia, or some breeders specialize in a lot of forms of Dahlias. I would suggest if you are just starting out that you choose one particular form. Now, there are approximately 18 to 19 forms that are recognized by the American Dahlia Society. One of those forms is the Colorette form. This is an open-centered form, and this is a very easy to breed form. This is also one of the very popular forms for beginners to start breeding with. Close-centered forms such as formal decorative, cactus, semi-cactus, etc. can be harder to get seeds from. So if you're planning on breeding from those forms, then you need to start with a lot of plants, or you need to know which ones make good seed parents. I'll have another video in which I will talk about which particular plants do make good seed parents, which ones do not, and where you can find some of that information available on the internet. I've also compiled some of it in my Dahlia Hybridizers journal to help people. But yeah, I would say the first thing that you need to do is to start and choose a form. If you are breeding multiple different forms, you're going to want to isolate them. So isolation means that you're going to want them at least 500 feet away from each other, maybe more. Most people suggest not even having open-centered varieties on the same property as closed-centered varieties. This is because the bees like to visit the open-centered varieties more often than the closed-centered varieties. I have found that you can breed close-centered varieties on the same property if there's enough space and you have the area isolated, but you still may end up with some open-centered seedlings from some of the pollen from the open-centered varieties. The best thing to do is to decide on the form that you love the most. If you're going to be spending a lot of time breeding dahlias and digging those tubers and caring for those seedlings, then you really want a form that you love. Don't go for a form that you think, oh, this is super popular, this is going to make me a lot of money. Go for a form that you love, because you're going to be spending a lot of time and effort to get a really nice seedling. So for example, out of 700 seedlings, I kept approximately 80 seedlings, and the rest of them were culls. So I would say, first of all, pick your form, and make sure that it's a form that you love.